how do you find the rule of this mapping here, right? So this is an exponential mapping. Now the question we are asking is that how do you know, or why are we saying that this is an exponential mapping? So I will leave this thing for you to give us your answer in the comment section below, right? It's very important. So I am saying that this is an exponential mapping, but the question that we are asking is why we are saying that this is an exponential mapping. It's up to you to give us the answer in the comment section. Make sure that you do that. That tells us that you are participating. Is that okay? Okay, perfect. Now the question is saying that you should find the rule of this exponential mapping here. So this is an exponential mapping. Now once you're able to identify that this is an exponential mapping, this is where you have to be, right? So straightforward, you write this thing down. Y is equal to AR x minus B. What are all these variable and letters up to? Is that okay? Now if you are telling you that maybe how to pass mathematics easily, right? So if I give you any lay down formula, any down procedure that says that okay, if you follow that path, we are going to be successful in your mathematics. So what would that be? That would become very easy. Is that okay? So now before I continue here, the key here is that according to Brian Tracy, so if you know this man, you can comment in the comment section below, right? So according to Brian Tracy in his book No Excuse, right? So No Excuse. So I've read that book, and some part of that book says that if you're able to learn or 2 hours, right? If you want to master anything, so if you're able to devote your time and learn 2 hours per day on a particular subject, you become a very master of that subject in not more than, is that 5 or 10 years or something of that nature, right? So maybe approximately, I can't remember the exact period, but the whole key is that if you can devote 2 hours per day to study mathematics, I can guarantee you that your success is not far from that. Okay, so back to the video here. Now since you know that this is an exponential mapping, all that we are going to do there, you have to write this thing down. So this is going to be our driver, right? So our driver, is that okay? Or our guideline that can help us to determine the rule of this exponential mapping. Now your first one is to determine the values of the A, R, maybe B, right? So A, R, and then B. So those are the key terms, or those are the things that you have to look for. So how do you determine those values? If you are new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you gain some value at the end of this video. But if you're already on this channel, all that you know, you just to give us a thumbs up if this video makes sense to you by the end. So now let's see how to find the values of this. And so all that we are doing here, assuming that this y here is you, right? So the y here is you watching me right now. This x here is me. So any value that goes on the top here goes for me, right? So this is for me, and then the down values go for you. Is that okay? So perfect. So let's say I'm on debt. So this negative form is that I'm on debt, right? So which is not, sometimes we have a bad and a good debt according to in the book of Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you have read that book, let me know, right? Robert Kiyosaki. So he is the one who wrote that book. So you have a bad debt and a good debt. So let's say this is a debt. So here negative one is a debt. When I'm on debt of negative one, obviously you are getting 32, right? You can approximate that to any meters, or maybe any unit, right? So if you're on debt of negative one, you are having what, 32, right? So what will happen if you come to 0? Then meaning that your amount reduced to 16. Is that okay? So if you are good money to go to 1, then you are going to 8, right? So it means that the more I push up on myself, the better you also am fighting against you. So okay, eventually you can see that you become 0 or negative, right? So if you're able to continue this trend here, right? So what am I trying to say here? So now what will happen if this guy, one of these guy, is missing? How do I determine that? Okay, what is the value that is going to be here for you to be able to get that your 8 here? Is that okay? So that is the key. Then that is why you need to understand that the rule here is going to be y equal to AR x minus b. So since this is an exponential mapping, you have to make sure that this is an exponential map. So the values of the a here is just obviously straightforward. That is the first number in u, right? So the first number in your numbers here. So this number here is 32. Is that okay? So how simple that could be. So your first step, once you're able to identify the mapping or given to you is an exponential, right? So that is the word exponential, exponential mapping, which is something that you have to know, right? So that's why I say you should make sure that you comment here on this channel. No wrong or correct answers. Anything that we say goes, because we are all learning. Okay, so and then the second one, so which is obviously after the b a, we are going for the b, but this is very simple. For sure, that should just be the first letter in me, right? So in the first number here, the first number, I mean, that's going to be negative 1. Is that okay? So we are almost done here. So our r here is just what we call the common ratio. So is that okay? So the common ratio here is as we what is the ratio. Pay very close attention, not the ratio on the people at the top here, but the ratio in you. So what do you mean by a ratio? So this is how it goes, right? So this on that, this on this. So maybe this it can help you remember your part, right? It doesn't go straight forward, right? So this is what I'm trying to say. So and then this on this. So here I'm very lazy, so let's say I'm lazy. So what are we trying to do? So that's going to be ratio 2 on 4, right? Something on something. So these 2 on this 4, right? So here obviously I'm going to have 1 on 2. Okay, maybe you want trouble for yourself. Somebody can go on 16 on 32, right? So 16 on 32 is still going to give him the same value, right? So that is 1 on 2, right? 16 going to 7 and then go here by 2. Does it make sense? So this and this are almost the same. That is why the ratio in this thing here has to be constant. Is that okay? Okay, perfect. So once we have these 3 guys here, we can easily determine the rule of this mapping. How do you do that? You just need to plug in all these things in your definition, right? So this thing, and then b also goes here, and then our negative r goes here, right? Is that okay? Because these things are changeable, the x and y are changeable because we don't have just a single values of the x or the y, right? So perfect. So if you say that, okay, if this guy is equal to, maybe let's say I got up to 5, what do you think will be the values of y? So once you know the rule of this map here, you can easily determine what your value is going to be at the time here. Is that okay? So now let's see how to write the rules of this map here. Once again, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you are gaining some value. This helps us a lot to know that, okay, these are some of the video that you have to upload for you to have a better understanding. Okay, if you have any special topic you want us to help you with, don't hesitate to comment in the comment section below for help, right? Okay, now let's see how to write the rule in general. So here we are not doing anything new here. So if I write my rule here, a r raised to the power x minus b, it's raised to the power x minus b. So y here, because they are changeable, your values is not just 1, we leave it as it is. What is the values of a? That's 32. The r was what? 1 on what? Multiply. Everything is multiply, right? So multiply by 1 on 2, you can put that into bracket, right? So here raised to the power x here, which is also changing, minus what is the values of the b. Remember, this is a negative. Pay very close attention to that, because according to this definition, there's already a negative here. So I'll put that my negative into bracket. Is that okay? All right. How simple writing this thing becomes. So if this goes to, is that not 32? Multiply by 1 on 2, everything here raised to the power x plus 1, right? So this thing tends to be a positive. Can you see that? So finally, this is the rule of this map. Is that okay? So how do you test that? If you want to check that, I just pick one values of this x here and determine if you have the corresponding values of the y here. Are you following? Okay, perfect. So how do you do that? Let me do one for you and then leave the remaining one for you. because I'm a very lazy, I will check for 0 when x is equal to 0. So when my value goes to 0, let's see if you are going to have this, assuming we don't know the value here. So all that we are going based on this rule here, that is the y equal to 32 multiplied by 1 and 2, everything raised to the power s plus 1. Right, so our x is equal to 0, so we are just picking this x and plugging into this equation here. So you have our y to be equal to 32 multiplied by 1 on 2, and then 0 plus 1. Right, so here is going to be y equal to 32 multiplied by 1 on 2, everything raised to the power, this is going to be 1. Is that okay? So what are we having here? You have 32 multiplied by 1 on 2, right? So this thing raised to the power is still as well 1 on 2. Are you there? Okay, so perfect. However, what is happening? That is going to be 32 on 2, which is obviously equal to 16. Can you see exactly what we are having here? So check for any number. You can pick any random number and check that if you are having a corresponding answer at the below, right? If you don't have a corresponding answer, just make sure that you comment how, so that I will get a better understanding that you are having some problems somewhere. Okay, so thank you for watching this particular video. Once again, make sure that you subscribe to the channel for more lessons like this. We love you.